Nestled in between 300,000 lakes are found a few patches of poorly asphalted swampland that, for reasons beyond me and my British shepherd's pie-clogged brain, repeatedly ranks as the happiest nation on earth. We are here in the fine land of Finland to find out why. One of the worldwide renowned symbols of these bug-infested wetlands is its former dancing Prime Minister Sanna Marin, who caused a tremendous ruckus during the years of the vagina virus pandemic by saying,
"Amidst these dark, ominously low-hanging dark clouds of COVID, I just wanted to have some fun. So what if I got sloshed off my feet and couldn't answer a work call as the head of an entire nation and tipsily tiptoed to several nightclubs despite having tested positive for COVID? At least I didn't take drugs. And just because in a wild party video of myself, two women are overheard shouting to each other, 'Wow, this stuff feels amazingly good.' It doesn't have to be a reference to drugs being served in my private VIP after party. Just because I was filmed with blazing dazed eyes jumping up and down in a wild cocaine-fueled frenzy shouting, 'The powder posse rules, the blow brigade inhales, the nose candy clique dominates, the cocaine crew is here, the nostril cloggers, the pale posse, the vampire snow imbibing succubi.' In that rather unfortunate video that is the wrinkle of my brow and the very root cause of why during the 4 years of my reign, my jaw suddenly went slack. Idest prolonged itself more than, ladies, I only wish knobs extended themselves in equal equine measure in times of feminine service. So what if I shouted powder posse rules on camera? Powder doesn't have to refer to the kinky K-powder. And I did do a drug test, though I did it so late that even a mountain of blow wouldn't have shown in that urine sample I gave to our familiar family doctor. Drugs are very, very bad. Besides only one of them that is a bottle's worth of neurotoxic substance that caused my brain cells drop like flies, that is the national Finnish state potato liquor. Of course, said my K-horse. And that's why in this very fine land of Finland, we openly admit to torturing our brave wounded servicemen with a complete lack of access to even 1% THC potent herbal remedy. The fine land of Finland only allows the white-coated man's ongoing colonialism over indigenous shamanistic medicines such as the Wacky Tobacky. Likewise, every single one of our amputated citizens is denied proper pain relief. We don't allow the hemp flower even on terminal wards where patients have only weeks to live. Happiest country on earth in my wet twat. And so what if I did rub that very twat of mine against an unknown soldier's leg while being the leader of an entire nation? It's not like a male prime minister wouldn't have been allowed to pull the same move on an unsuspecting by-dancer. You know, should rubbity twats be thought of as grinding dingai? Just to torture them further, to comply with the EU policies, we do keep a variety of 22% THC cannabis, dubbed the bedrockin, on the shelves of our pharmacies, yet not a single amputated citizen is allowed it for pain medication. You see, it is our moral duty to protect our people from the evils of ungodly hemp flower. This is the Finnish land of the finished people. We don't indeed grow no weed in Muskogee, Finland. Just to broaden our horizons of torture, we took in a myriad of refugees from Muslim countries such as Iraq and Somalia, where the people don't slurp much alcohol, but of course are human like the rest of us, and seek some form of release during weekends. So, we have invented the perfect torture mechanism for them, as well as for the amputated soldiers and other tossers. We make sure these poor refugees without any money on them don't ever get to earn a salary in the fine land of Finland. We slab a sticker on their foreheads that reads criminal in capital letters.
Quite indeed, according to Finnish law, a pedestrian caught with the possession of even the slightest crumble of cannabis is marked unfit for work for the next 5 years. And I do mean any work. Just to clean toilets at a gas station requires a criminal background check. Just answering the phone in your run-of-the-mill customer service job is forbidden. Just a job peddling food home deliveries to customers is forbidden due to laws concerning sensitive information, such as people's address info that needs to be protected from the clearly criminally minded cannabis tokers and bong gurglers alike. You see, not only does Finland protect its fine Finnish folk from the dangers and perils of the innocent hemp flower, it also prevents people from virtually ever working again. People whose only crime in life is having tarred their very own lungs with hemp vapor, be it just once during their college days in a frat house, are rendered completely unemployable, that's for sure. Such a nice thing to do to the African Finnish population as well. You see, a vast majority are Somali Muslims who are forbidden to get drunk, but not forbidden to get higher by the godlier of laws. Chronic unemployment will soon finish off any college student who even once dares to try cannabis. To top it all off, like icing on a velvety white widow-infused cake, one loses one's driver's license in Finland despite never having driven under the influence. Just smoking on one's balcony on a Sunday after diligent church attendance means one loses one's Finnish driver's license. One never gets it back, unless one submits and passes a year of drug testing. One fails the entire year's worth of testing, should one just once fail to appear in a randomly summoned drug test due to having travelled within the country to see relatives. We went and sought out to see are there any validity to these claims. We booked an appointment with the May Bay Hospital in the capital of Finland, von Helsingfors, and asked the good doctor for a prescription of medical cannabis for severe nerve pain. And just like that, without even a word's worth of inquiry into the cause of the aforementioned chronic nerve pain, or for that matter completely without prying into our medical history from the respectable tiny royal island of Fog, but not Bog, mind you, a tremendously important distinction of sophistication, I must remind. And yet the doctor flat out stated, and I quote her now, she stated this verbatim, "I don't know of a single doctor in the country who could write a prescription for cannabis," and added, "We certainly don't do it here in the capital, but I could provide you with contact information on how to quit abusing drugs." And she said this to my aristocratic, elderly, well-dressed face. So I buggered off without ever asking to pay her whack doctor's fee. Anywho, during the last election, Sanna Marin pulled out a lock of her hair during a campaign interview and said, "Test that for drugs?" She, of course, royally lost that election and fled the country with a tail between her legs. What a twat indeed. Do not hesitate to hover around the like button and possibly even consider unsubscribing to curb our effort for not penalising and criminalising the honestly and unfakeably amputated for merely seeking pain relief in cannabis worldwide. It's a wrap, twats. Now don't be such cunts and go fetch me some of that wacky tobacky. I want to see what this peach fuzz is all about. Oh, buggery old me. I almost forgot an entire chapter's worth of yuppie yap. The most ironic thing about this utterly racist cannabis policy the fine land of Finland has adopted from old-timey America is the fact that 90% of Finland is composed of population who either speak one of the three indigenous native European tongues of Skolt Sami, Northern Mountain Sami, or Inari Sami, or alternatively speak Finnish, a language that is not much farther than a dialectical stone's cast away from the indigenous native European language of Inari Samis. In all its racism, even America never ever banned the smoking and growing of cannabis from any of its indigenous nations we British like to call the real Americans. As a cherry on the top, the Finnish population is not only linguistically closely related to the indigenous native Europeans, but also share a DNA indistinguishable from the Sami DNA unlike any other nations. What they all share is a deep-rooted love for their nature and sweat lodges they call saunas. Sauna and Nokia are in fact the only Finnish words that made itself outside Finland. Yet alcohol remains legal in this boggy reservation of a country, and cannabis unattainable by legal means no matter how sick and dying you may be. You shall be protected from the safest drug in the world, cannabis, that America has declassified belonging to the same not dangerous category of drugs as melatonin and other sleeping aids. Instead of making America great again, What say we make Sanna Marin, Sanna Marinen? Marinen, of course, being the Finnish word for being under the influence of cannabis. This irony is a stark reminder of how policies can be out of touch with cultural and historical realities.
This has been a Two Flies with One Firm Smack campaign ad. If you don't mind the amputated getting access to legal medical cannabis, don't forget to leave a like and tappity-tap the living daylight out of that subscribe button.